seriously about quitting football and playing poker professionally. He loved this hobby so much that he named his dog Poker. But at least this new hobby is profitable, including Neymar's money because he is in 9th place. He did something illegal that caused him more loss. From $100,000 in the 2014 World Cup. Since it is the most watched sporting event in the world, wanted to show everyone that it was capable of leading Brazil to win the World Cup. So in Brazil match against Cameroon and Hamas midfield. Great in the stands, Neymar scored the first goal. He did not stop there. 9 minutes later, only Neymar added the second goal and Neymar shone. Registering was enough to put him in the spotlight. But that did not satisfy Neymar's desire to pay attention and show off after the end of the half. The first decided to do something that no one expected. He knew that cameras were watching his every move. Even outside the field, he revealed his clothes, the interior of the world. But once an image spreads, it has been posted on all social media platforms. Neymar may be investigated for violating the law. FIFA was fined $125,000, but at least this was not the reason for his imprisonment for a period of 6 years, as is the case in the center, where Neymar grew up in harsh conditions. Fortunately, he had the opportunity at an early age to. He signs a professional contract with Santos Club, embrace him and help him get deals. They even cared that they paid him enough to take out. His family completed it from the shantytown when it started. Neymar's playing for the club seemed to be on the record numbers have become compared to legends. Brazilian football and became one of the greatest players. Young people in South America, but throughout that, the time Neymar really wanted to play with another club was willing to take the risk by going to prison for that, and in a year 2013 suddenly, Neymar announced his move to Barcelona. Told Neymar that he wanted to play with him. Barca because of its great history, but Santos. He felt that Barcelona and Neymar manipulated. So after the move was made, Santos called. FIFA requested an investigation into the case, and at the time Neymar started his career in Barcelona, where his level improved remarkably and he gave a wonderful performance. Therefore, Santos' feeling of betrayal increased. After an investigation, it turned out that on paper Neymar from Santos for $19 million, but behind the scenes, Barcelona agreed with his family Neymar to secretly send another $65 million. Both Neymar and his father faced prison sentences, but fortunately for them, they avoided prison and made amends. Financial bail cost them millions of dollars in favor of Santos, but at least it cost him. This error is a financial penalty only and was not a reason. At the end of his football career, as happened in 7th place, because Neymar is suffering from addiction to something is unhealthy though. He is a role model for hundreds of millions of young people. He still can't even resist his addiction. If it poses a threat to his professional life, then recently, Neymar seemed to be suffering injuries occur frequently and everyone thinks it's him. He gets injured because he is unlucky. But it turns out he decided that he is trained for football as a professional player. Neymar wants to become a professional football player. Video as soon as he started playing video games, like Call of Duty and CS:GO, he discovered he is very good at playing it, and I got more from his videos of 1 million views, and when he realized that he had an audience of over 100,000 followers, started taking the hobby seriously. Has spent more than $40 for upgrading and developing his weapons, his character in the game, and when it's time for the best party to distribute awards in football, I understand how bad is Neymar's addiction to the hate party. Gold in 2018 gathered the best players to celebrate the winner for that year, and since Neymar was one of the first candidates, so he should have. Attending the party should be one of his priorities, but he chose to miss the party and stayed to play Call of Duty. Some people thought this was funny, but this addiction is actually very bad because sitting in a chair for long hours a day, it is not healthy and may explain why Neymar has recently become more susceptible to injury than at any other time, but it may. We understand Neymar's addiction to playing because Neymar, he grew up among his family in the worst possible conditions, where they were barely able to bear water and electricity costs, but in the days Neymar almost made matters worse. One month his father forgot to pay his bill. Electricity has reached the deadline for its performance, but that day his father had to work, so even though Neymar was young, his father gave him money and sent him to pay the bill. Indeed, Neymar set off to perform the task, but suddenly, he saw a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win his dream car. Neymar did not want to waste this opportunity, so he went. He bought a ticket, Nasib, and that night he did not. He was almost asleep with joy as he dreamed of riding his new car, and the next morning he heard The sound of a car at the door and Neymar jumped out of bed. He rushed to the door but found it was a company car. The electricity that came to cut off the power. But even though his father was angry at the time, he forgave him after that and forgot what happened. But what happened in 5th place is something Neymar will never forget. Elsa Andish from January 2020 was Paris Saint-Germain plays against Lille, so Neymar enters. The match was open with a winning mentality from the beginning. He scored with his right foot and Neymar was happy. After Paris Saint-Germain finished the first half, leading from 1-0, but as soon as it opened, his phone in the locker room went off. In tears, he was surprised by the news of Kobe Bryant's death. They were friends who used to go out and practice together. Sports, they even exchanged shirts. Therefore, when he heard the news of his friend's death, he was sad, but he knew that his mission was not finished yet. Neymar came out in the second half insisting the victory was won by a penalty kick, and after it was scored, he dedicated the goal to his friend who had number 24. After the match, Neymar went to the tattoo artist to make Kobe a part of his life forever. He tattooed one of Kobe's sayings on his body. He says, "People don't understand how obsessed I am by winning, but if Neymar does this for Kobe, I wonder what he will do for the player who saved his football career as it is." In 4th place was Neymar. He suffers psychologically after moving to Paris Saint-Germain due to the intense pressure and expectations. The audience was one of the most expensive broadcasters in the world at that time. Neymar collapses on and off the field, however. Fortunately for him, he joined Neymar. The greatest world player knows very well what it is suffering from Neymar because he went through the same pressures for many years. Messi helped Neymar overcome this stage and developing his level again. Neymar admitted, saying, "I was crying in the dressing room. I couldn't playing football at the moment I needed it." In which there was great support. The best player came in. The world told me I should be the same boy. I was in Santos and he's here to help me. After that, Neymar shined more than ever. And now we have reached the 3 positions. The first is where things will get more interesting in a year. 1992 Neymar was 4 months old. Just his parents were driving to visit him. Some relatives suddenly started a very strong storm. They couldn't see who was in front of them. The family was involved in a tragic accident, and the car was so damaged badly that Neymar disappeared and I didn't have him. His family has no idea where he is. His father looked everywhere inside the car, outside the car and in the forest, but they could not finding him, and suddenly they heard a boy crying. It was Neymar. Was stuck under the driver's seat and was covered in blood. They immediately rushed him to hospital. Neymar faced death and it was not old enough to understand or even know the words. What was going on was the opposite of what happened in 2nd place, where Neymar almost caused a penalty assassination of a player in France during the time. Extra time from Paris Saint-Germain versus Lyon. Neymar was fighting and trying to motivate his teammates to win, but after he rose, while dribbling, Neymar injured him. So things started to get social media where Thiago and his family appeared to receive death threats, but they were living in a state of terror. Fortunately for them, after the tests, the club announced Neymar's injury is not serious before he gets hurt. Thiago or his family, but at least Thiago got out. He was safe after his mistake, but in 1st place, Neymar caused the loss of a company billions of dollars in the 2014 World Cup. Sony got the deal of a lifetime and became its headphones are the official ones for football players. It paid $280 million for this deal. Therefore, FIFA was keen to prevent players from use any other trademark given by Sony. Free headphones for all teams participating in the Cup, the World, but after using Sony headphones, I realized the players are very bad, led by Neymar. Neymar contacted Beats and filmed an advertisement commercially with them during the World Cup. He achieved 34 million views, and it was a painful blow for Sony. The news spread and the world learned that Sony headphones very bad compared to Beats headphones, so it went down. Sony's company is valued at $1.7 billion. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and peace be upon you.